Everybody wanna be a beast, until it's time to do what beasts do. You see Cristiano Ronaldo, the fame, the cars, the millions of followers. You see the trophies, the records, the flash, but you ain't seen the pain. You ain't heard the cries, you ain't felt the nights he laid in a cold bed, stomach growling, heart heavy, praying that his dream would survive the reality. Let me tell you something tonight. Greatness is not born on the field. It's born in the dark, it's born in the pain, in the silence, in the lonely work nobody sees. This ain't a story about goals. This is a story about grit. About a boy who walked through fire to build a name the whole world would one day scream. His name is Cristiano Ronaldo, but what made him wasn't the goals. It was the grind. Buckle up, because tonight we talk about the pain behind the greatness. Now let me take you back. Back before the flash. Back before the fans. Back to a little island called Madeira, Portugal. Not the city, not the lights. I'm talking dirt roads, clothesline hangin'. Mommy working 2 jobs just to keep food on the table. Cristiano was born into a small, tight apartment where dreams had to be louder than reality. His father, Diniz, was a soldier. But when he came back, he couldn't fight no more. He fought a different war, with alcohol. And it tore him apart. His mother, Maria Dolores. Now that woman was the rock. She scrubbed floors, cooked meals for other people's families, just so her kids could eat a little something. Sometimes there wasn't enough food for everybody, and she would lie to her own son, tell him she wasn't hungry, so he could eat. That's love, that's sacrifice, that's where greatness starts, in pain, in poverty, and in the prayers of a mama who believes when the world don't. Now picture this, a little boy, maybe 7, maybe 8, out there in the streets with a second-hand soccer ball, playing barefoot, not because he wanted to, but because he had to, because they couldn't afford cleats. Because dreams don't come with discounts. He didn't grow up in privilege. He grew up with pressure, with poverty, with purpose. And let me tell you something, pressure, that either breaks a person or builds him. And Ronaldo, he chose to build when he was 12 years old, just 12. Cristiano made a decision most grown men are scared to make. He left his family, got on a plane, all alone, left his island, his mama, his whole world, and went to Lisbon to chase this wild dream. Think about that, a child, alone, in a city that didn't care who he was. They teased him for his accent. They laughed at his skinny frame. He cried every night. Wanted to go home, but home didn't have the future he saw in his mind. You know what he said. I cried almost every day, but I never stopped training. I knew I was going to be the best. Now that right there. That's pain with purpose. That's tears with direction. Some of y'all out there feel alone right now. Some of you cry at night and wonder if it's all worth it. Let me tell you, it is. Every tear is watering the roots of your greatness. Life don't care how talented you are. It don't care about your dreams, your hustle, your plans. Sometimes life just hits you. Boom. Out of nowhere. Cristiano was just 15 years old already, fighting to prove himself, already outworking everybody. He was the skinny kid with the fire in his soul, but then something happened. One day he started feeling it. His heart beating fast, too fast, not after training, not after sprinting, just standing there. His chest was pounding like a drum out of rhythm. The doctors ran tests. They looked at the scans, and they came back with news no athlete ever wants to hear. You have a heart condition. If we don't operate, you may never play again. Now let me just pause right there. Imagine being 15. You left your family. You've sacrificed everything. And now they tell you this one thing you gave your life to. You might not ever do it again, man. That'll break a lot of people. That'll send most folks packing. Back home, back to safe. Back to small dreams, but Ronaldo, he didn't fold. He didn't cry to the world. He told the doctors, do the surgery, I'll be back. Let me say that again, I'll be back. They did the surgery. Burned the part of his heart that was misfiring. And just days later, days, That boy was back on the field, not easing in, not tacking it slow. He was sprintin', he was grinding, like his life depended on it, because to him it did. That's not just recovery, that's resurrection, that's faith in motion. You ever been told you weren't gonna make it? Doctor said it's over, boss said we don't need you, friend said you changed. You ever felt like something inside you was broken, and you didn't know if you'd ever get it back? That's the moment when the weak quit and the strong rise. Ronaldo wasn't handed greatness. He had to fight for it, on the field and inside his own chest. He wasn't just playing football anymore. He was proving to the universe that his destiny was stronger than his diagnosis. So the next time you feel like quitting, the next time life punches you in the gut and you're gasping for breath, think about that boy 15 years old who had every reason to give up, and he got back up because he wasn't chasing applause. He was chasing purpose. See, most people, they fall in love with the result, but champions, they fall in love with the process, the grind, the loneliness, the suffering that comes with chasing something bigger than comfort. When Ronaldo made it to Sporting CP, then to Manchester United, he was good, but he wasn't done. He didn't want to be good. He wanted to be great. He wanted to be the greatest, and for that, you gotta pay a price most folks aren't willing to pay. While his teammates were partying on weekends, he was hitting the gym again after training. While others were playing video games, he was perfecting his free kick technique over and over and over until his toes bled. He trained his body like it was a machine. No sugar, no soda, no fast food. Every bite, every rep, every breath. Intentional. Rest, he said. Rest is for people who don't want it bad enough. Even Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest managers ever, said he was the first to arrive and the last to leave every single day. You know how lonely that gets? Everybody chillin', you in the cold, everybody sleepin', you still running, everybody laughin', you sweating in silence. That ain't talent. That's torture with a purpose. Let me ask you something. You want greatness, right? You want success, fame, legacy. Are you willing to be lonely for it? Are you willing to miss parties, lose friends, suffer in silence, so you can stand alone on top? Because that's what Ronaldo did. He turned obsession into ritual. He turned loneliness into loyalty to the vision. He didn't care if they laughed. He didn't care if they called him crazy, because he saw something they didn't. He saw a future only he could feel, and now the world sees it too. But here's the thing about life. Even when you grind harder than anybody else, even when you sacrifice, suffer, and starve for your dream, life will still hit you in the heart. Because greatness, it comes with loss. In the next chapter, we'll go deep into the heartbreaks Ronaldo carried with him, the death of his father, the loss of his child, and the grief that didn't stop his mission but sharpened it. You can train your body to endure pain. You can train your mind to push through pressure, but there's one kind of pain, one kind of battle you can't prepare for. Losing the ones you love. Cristiano was 20 years old. Just breaking through, rising fast, making headlines. But while the world was starting to cheer for him, his father, Denny's, was losing his fight with alcohol, liver failure, body breaking down, and on September 6, 2005, Denny's Avero passed away. He never got to see his son lift a Champions League trophy. He never saw the Ballon d'Or, never saw the statues, the parades, the applause. And Cristiano, he was devastated. He was never there to see what I became. Ronaldo once said, voice cracking, he didn't see me be number one. Now let me pause and speak from the heart. Can you imagine? You climb the highest mountain, only to find the one person you wanted at the top. Ain't there any more? That pain doesn't go away. He carried that grief every day, onto the field, into the locker room, behind every smile in front of the camera. But you know what he did? He didn't use pain as an excuse. He used it as fuel. Fast forward to April 2022. Cristiano and his partner, Georgina, were expecting twins. Joy was in the air. Family was ready. The world was excited for him. But when the twins were born, one lived, one did not. A part of him died that day. Cristiano released a short statement. No press tour, no interviews, just pain written in silence. It is with the deepest sadness we announce our baby boy has passed away. It is the greatest pain any parent can feel. Let me tell you something, this man, this warrior, who stood in front of millions and delivered greatness under pressure. He broke behind closed doors, and yet he came back not because he was healed, but because he refused to let pain bury purpose. I don't know what you've lost, a parent, a child, a dream. I don't know the tears you've cried, the nights you've screamed into your pillow, but I do know this. Pain can either be your prison or your platform. Cristiano Ronaldo chose to keep showing up, to honor the people he lost, not by falling, but by rising, and that's what real strength looks like. It's not the man lifting trophies. It's the man lifting himself when his world is falling apart, after everything he'd been through, after every tear, every grave, every heartbreak. Ronaldo still walks out onto that pitch with his chest out and his eyes locked in. Why? Because pain sharpened his purpose, because grief became his gasoline, because love made him unbreakable. Let me break something down for you right now. Talent is a gift, but discipline, that's a choice. Every single day, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't become a machine by accident. He engineered his greatness with ruthless, relentless routine. When others hit snooze, he was up. When others skipped reps, he went harder. When others took days off, he doubled down, because greatness ain't sexy. Greatness is repetitive. Greatness is doing the boring things right for years. Let me paint you a picture of this man's daily grind. 6 hours of training every day. Ice baths, cryotherapy, physiotherapy even on rest days, 0 alcohol, 0 sugar, 0 excuses, meals, 6 clean ones a day, sleep 8 hours plus naps, recovery treated like training. He built his body like a temple. He programmed his mind like a machine, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. If you don't train, if you don't do the work, Ronaldo said, you don't deserve to win. That's the level we're talking about. Discipline so deep, he became addicted to excellence. Cristiano didn't want to be better than others. He wanted to be better than himself every day. After winning the Ballon d'Or, while others were celebrating, he was already back in the gym. After winning the Champions League, he said, now we go again. You know what that is? That's not normal. That's obsession married to discipline. The man trains like he's broke. Even when he's richer than kings, he plays like he's unknown. Even when he's the most followed human on earth. Why? Because he don't chase applause. He chases accountability. Some of y'all watching right now, you say you want success. But do you really? You like the idea of it, but are you disciplined enough to earn it? Can you wake up early when nobody's watching? Can you skip the party, turn off the phone, and get to work when it's not fun anymore? Can you stay hungry when you're full? Cristiano Ronaldo did. And if a kid from a tiny island raised in poverty, mocked for his voice, abandoned by his father, broken by loss if he can rise up, then what's your excuse? Discipline got him the body. Discipline got him the skill. But what came next? That wasn't about abs or goals or trophies. It was about impact. It was about legacy. It was about turning pain, obsession, and sacrifice into something the world could feel forever. Look, you've just seen the story behind the shine, not the fame, not the followers, the pain, the grind, the loneliness, the sacrifice, the tears nobody saw. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't become great because life was easy. He became great because life was hard, and he kept showing up anyway. He was laughed at, mocked, left behind. He buried his father. He buried his child. He trained when his heart was broken. He played when his soul was aching. And still, he rose, still. He fought, still. He became one of the greatest to ever live. Let me tell you this. The real trophy is not the Ballon d'Or. The real title is not top scorer. The real reward is knowing you never quit when life tried to break you. So maybe you're watching this right now feeling tired, feeling broke, feeling like nobody sees you. Let me tell you something. Your pain is not the end. Your struggle is not the full story. It's the beginning of something powerful. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't get lucky. He got focused. He got disciplined. He got ready when nobody else was. Now it's your turn. Your name might not be Ronaldo, but your fight can be just as legendary. That's what his life taught us. That's what your life can become. Now go out there, stand tall, wipe your tears, get back in the gym. Back in your purpose, back in your calling, be relentless, be unbreakable, be legendary, because the pain behind your greatness will be the story the world never forgets. Thank you for watching this motivational journey. If this message touched you, like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. And remember, this ain't just about Ronaldo, this is about you.